What's going on, beautiful people? It's your girl Guruji Chastity, and today we are back with another Fresh Thought Friday. We at the whiteboard, so that means we got an ideogram going. All right, so go ahead and get your pen and paper so we can draw this and get to it. Okay, look. I'm low-key excited for this one because I've never used this symbol for an ideogram. I made this up. All the other times, I feel like I'm not really making nothing up because I'm either making a shape like a square or a triangle, and that's just a natural shape. But this is me attempting to express like a genuine concept to you using a shape that I came up with, using a symbol that I've come up with. And so again, an ideogram is a symbol or a picture that captures an entire concept or teaching. So essentially, for instance, I should be able to take these words off, draw this on the whiteboard, and break it down. And you'll be like, oh yeah, straight up, that's simple. This is the same thing as like a hieroglyphic, yo, right? So what I drew, this is a tool, right? And I wanted to draw something that looked like an actual tool that you would use, but was different enough where you were like, I wonder what that is used for, let me say, per se. And so for me, this is my version of a hammer, but it's spiritual. And so that's why it's kind of curved and not blunt like we would normally see at the top of a hammer. But the way that I envision us using this tool is very similar to a hammer, but you can just do a little bit more with it, right? You can not only use this hammer to address the things that you can see with your five senses, which is what a regular hammer does, but the way that this hammer is built, it's like the mechanics of it, the energy of it, the thought of it, the concept of this hammer has meaning just as much as the physical or the practical application of using this hammer like you would a regular one, right? All right, so in our ideogram, our hammer here is sectioned off in 3 different colors because it's the 3 angles that mean something once they're used together in your hand like a regular tool. But this is a spiritual tool. And so while you can use this spiritual tool to excavate internally, you can also use it to build your reality externally. Right, family? So follow along with me. Stay with me now. So boom. One of the things that we want to also just be mindful of is that when we are using tools, we never want anything to be double-edged, right? You don't want to use something for your benefit and then have someone use it against you, right? It can't be a double-edged sword, anything in spirituality, right? So you don't want to have to defend and protect yourself with the same thing that you're defending yourself with or from. You see what I'm saying? So look, first line, the main line, the black line right here, stands for renewed vision. It stands for renewed vision. The reason why renewed vision is the base of this tool is because when you're coming into spirituality, right, and you want to use spirituality to build your reality based on what you feel, based on what you know, based on what you hold to be true, the first thing that comes into your perspective when you start tapping into spirituality is a renewed vision. And what that looks like is all of a sudden you start seeing stuff that you didn't have access to see before. For instance, on a very superficial level, when some of us start to use the tool of spirituality to build our life, the first thing that we might notice are angel numbers, right? It's not like all of a sudden numbers just start popping out everywhere. Those numbers were always there, right? You just now had the capacity, right? The renewed vision to actually see them because you picked up this tool, because you put it in your hand. Again, if spirituality was a physical hammer that we could see and pick up, once you touch the base, the handle of the tool of spirituality, the first thing that's going to jump up on you is a renewed vision. You're going to be able to see things that you weren't able to see. And it's not because those things just appeared because you can now see. No, those things were always there. You just paying attention. That's the first thing in spirituality, is the ability to pay attention. Most times when we want to create new things in our life, we can't be consistent. We can't stay focused, right? Because we get easily distracted. And that's what we use spirituality for, to stay grounded, to stay centered in your body, to be alert, to be aware, to make choices, right? A lot of us experience before spirituality, it's like every day, every opportunity, when we get a moment to choose, it's like we went to go take a test and we just go fucking stupid, bruh. It's just like, what? Like, we just make choices that don't serve our greatest and highest good. But the moment we step into spirituality and have renewed vision, at every point when it's time for you to make a choice, you never make a choice from a place of a lack of clarity, right? When you have the tool of spirituality, you start to notice, like, wait a minute, last time I made this choice and I didn't feel good internally, and then that started to play out in my reality. So I noticed that, so let me try X, Y, and Z. You see what I'm saying? But typically when we don't have the tool of spirituality, we're just trying to go ahead and take that test. Ain't nobody trying to wait and pay attention at nothing. The attention is the experience happening to you. Because most times when you not tapped into spirituality, you don't have no extra attention to give because you too busy living, right? But when you have spirituality, you have access to renewed vision, because you start to realize, hey, I'm not my experience. I'm the observer in the experience. So let me sit back and peep game. You see what I'm saying? Let me sit back and see what's going on. You see what I'm saying? Right? So that's the first piece of a tool. So again, think about this hammer-like apparatus. And matter of fact, if you got a hammer, go get it right now. I'm not kidding. Go get the hammer, right? So we can make this practical. Okay? Go get the hammer. So if you got the hammer in your hand, or you got it in your mind's eye, just realize that when you pick up the hammer of spirituality, just the fact that you touched the handle alone gives you access to renewed vision. You're able to see stuff that you weren't able to see before. Now, okay, y'all see my hammer. The first part of my hammer, the first part that's going to touch something is going to be something deeper. Okay, the idea of something deeper. Because now when you pick up the handle, you start to notice, wait a minute, I seen that. I seen them angel numbers. I seen X, Y, and Z, and it's affecting me. So when you see it, you start to say, wait a minute, there's something afoot here. There's something deeper going on, right? Because all of a sudden I couldn't see certain things, but now that I can see it, it got me thinking, wait a minute, there must be something deeper that I need to be paying attention to. There's something deeper for me to see. There's something deeper for me to have. There's something deeper for me to engage with, right? So the first piece of your spiritual hammer that's gonna touch down, see what I'm saying? The first piece of your spiritual hammer that's gonna touch down on something, when it touches down, as soon as it hits it, you are automatically going to have a flash of a deeper perspective, of a deeper understanding, of a deeper wisdom, right? A wisdom that you didn't have access to before, because one, you ain't even see it. And now two is that it's like when you touch it, now there's a whole new level of information jumping out at you that wasn't available before. Okay? Next. Okay, now the last part of our hammer that's going to hold all of the energy and the information by us interacting with it as a entity, as a sentient being in itself, and then using that out in our external reality, right? To hold all of that together, right? We have energy sensitive, right? So the base of this hammer stands for being energetically sensitive, right? So what this means is, once you start to have a renewed vision, you know something deeper is amiss, right? Once you notice something deeper is amiss, you're going to start to be energetically sensitive. You're going to start to feel stuff in your body. You're going to start, somebody might not even have to open their mouth, but you will be like, oh, I felt that. You know what I'm saying? I felt that. Don't come over here with that. What's wrong? Or you might be able to tell somebody, oh, I feel that. You okay? What's wrong? Do we need to talk about it? Is there a story that is catching on to your brain or something? Or you might notice when you are ungrounded, Because now you are energetically sensitive, because now you taking on more information of your environment, right? Because you seeing more, right? Not because the more is just happening to be there. That more was always there, but you couldn't peep game on it. But now when you start to peep game on that more, you start to realize like, hey, there is a deeper meaning behind my life experiences. And because I'm paying attention, I'm now getting access to this deeper part of myself, or maybe access to a deeper part of my environment that I hadn't seen before. And now when you get that deeper access, you start to feel in your body more. You start to come out of your head and into your body, and you start to feel stuff a lot more. You can't just bulldoze through emotions, or you can't just bulldoze through thoughts, because you're feeling everything, because you're seeing everything, and you're realizing there's a deeper meaning to life, and everything just begins to expand. This is the tool of spirituality. This is the hammer of spirituality. Now, everybody wants to use spirituality as a tool, but nobody knows how. So imagine, I gotta go get a real hammer. This hurting me, y'all. I'll be right back.
Many months later.
So look at here, look at here, look at here. Because all of us wants to create more. The reason why we all want to create more is because God lives in every one of us. And God came down here in a human suit called Young Chastity so God could experience. The only way God can experience fully in this suit named Young Chastity is if I have all of the resources available to me. If I don't have all of the resources available to me, the God in me is gonna say more. Okay? And that is tiring, because it's ghetto out here as a human. We gotta wake up every day and keep doing this shit, right? So if I gotta keep doing this because the internal God, the divinity, the magnificence in me gots to have the fullest experience possible, otherwise I'm sinning against me. So that means if God live in me and God said, look, I'm gonna hop up on in this suit and have a good time. And if I don't want to sin against God, against the God that lives in me, I better learn how to use the tools in my environment so I can do what God needs me to do. Because at the end of the day, when we talk about purpose and death, when we die, we just taking information back. The whole point of this human existence is not for you to have one single solitary purpose. It's simply for you to experience life as a human and go take that information back to the creation of you that lives in you. Okay? So when we look at purpose and we look at using tools, I don't need to use this hammer so that whatever I make is the only thing I'm supposed to make in life. No, I'm supposed to use this hammer to make infinite possibilities, to make whatever the God in me want to make. But if I don't know how to use this hammer, I'm gonna be walking around in life like this. I'm gonna be trying to put nails in with this, running myself ragged. Now, how many of us know about this? I know about this. I can't even cap on it. I can't even cap on it. Before I got into spirituality, I was trying to build my version of what life would look like, of what success would look like, of what happiness would look like, using the butt end of a hammer. It wasn't until I got into spirituality till I got my tool in my hand upright. And so I started to notice that just because I put my hand on this handle, all of a sudden I could see stuff I couldn't see. If I put the hammer down, it's like all of a sudden I put on glasses with dirt on them. But as soon as I pick up this hammer, it's like, oh, I can see. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. This is spirituality. Spirituality is a tool. What do you do with tools? You create stuff with tools. Why is this important? Because the only purpose that you have as a human is to create shit and then die and then take that information back to creation itself. That's it. That's it. But so many of us can't do our one job, which is just to experience fully, because we don't have the proper tools. Okay? And so today's ideogram was about using spirituality as a proper tool so that you can experience more, so that the God within you can have everything that it needs, so that you don't have to sin against yourself by not living to your fullest potential, right? When we don't have the proper tools, we don't allow ourselves to succeed. Everybody wants to succeed for the reason that I just gave, because God lives in you and God wants to have the fullest experience that it could have. Otherwise, Otherwise, it would not have taken the time as an all-seeing being to create humans to lose itself in it. That's it. God said, I'm is everything and nothing at all at the same time. How I feel that, how I get jiggy with that. Oh, I'll create suits called humans, send them down to this area and experience. I'll forget that I'm them so that I can have the best experience possible. Die, go tell myself about the experience and do it again. Now, I don't know about you, but if you don't know what's going on, and if you didn't know none of that of what I just told you, you will come down here in this experience and think, oh my God, I gotta find my purpose in life. I gotta go to school and get a job and die. Or I gotta do X, Y, and Z. And you don't have to do none of that because you ain't using the tools that God gave you, i.e. spirituality. All I'm saying, mic drop on them, cuz. Mic drop. That's it. Ain't no sweet, special nothing. End of the video.